that I started on the steel guitar. And I started on the steel guitar with no teacher. I had to figure out how to play the steel guitar from associating it to the regular guitar. So I thought to myself, 50 years later, maybe that would work for other guitar players. So if you're a guitar player, this video is for you. This video is for guitar players to learn how to play pedal steel guitar. I know many great guitar players, and a lot of them have expressed to me their desire to play the pedal steel guitar. And so this is an opportunity for guitar players and anyone else, maybe oboe players or piccolo players, whatever, or even if you're just a beginner. We're going to start from the very beginning, pretty much, on the steel guitar. But I may use terms, musical terms like 4-chord, 5 chords, root third and fifth, first inversion, second inversion, things like that. Use a little musical language, and if you don't understand that, why just ask some other musician that does understand it, and they can explain it to you, because I don't have time to go into all the theory explanations of why this is and why that is. And this is my double 12 Mullen right here that I usually play on the jobs, and I switch back and forth and play both instruments usually on most of the gigs I play. But I'm going to change instruments, and I'm going to show you how to set it up. I'm going to show you how to tune it, and I'm going to show you my tuning, how I tune it with intervals. We're going to get into just very beginning basics and graduate from there. We'll get into chords, what the 1, 4, 5 chords, the 6 minor chord, the 2 minor chord. We'll get into the blocks of the chords, and we'll get into the scales, harmonizing the scale. We'll get into a lot of different things. So when you play guitar, why, naturally, most of the time you're using a straight pick. You're not using finger picks unless you play like Chet Atkins, which he did use the finger picks and the thumb pick. When I started the little lap steel that we had at the house there, I had no one to show me anything, so I tuned it to an E chord and started figuring out where things were on it. Okay, I'd play learn the bar slants and things like that. My first string was the same as the 4th string here. Okay, and then I would I started using my fingers. I didn't have any picks on them. Somewhere, I don't know where they came from. And I put them on these fingers, and then I developed this technique right here. Nobody ever told me it was wrong. It worked for me all these years. And you're welcome to try that if you want to, because you're a guitar player and you can use a straight pick already. But the proper way, the thumb pick and 2 finger picks like this. Okay. Now when you pick these, we usually play in sets of 3 string down. When I say from the 3rd string down, I mean the 3rd string is the highest note you hear, and that's going to be dominant. That would be like a melody of a song, and the 2nd and 3rd, or the 4th and 5th. But you'd hear this one dominantly. So the 2nd finger is actually playing the melody. When you play that set of 3, okay, we play in sets 4, 5, and 6. Now I'm going to play the set of 3 from 5, 6. You got to skip the 7th and go to 8. Now I'm going to 8, you got to skip 9, you go to 10. That would be probably the hardest one to get used to if you're playing in sets of 3s. So you got set from the 3rd, from the 5th string down, from the 6th string down. Now, you're not always going to be playing a little bit, but if you're going to play separate notes within that chord structure, you can play. If you're going to be playing This finger, a lot of times, is the lazy finger, and it doesn't want to work. You'll hear this. Well, you're actually only hearing 2 notes. You want to get to where that's coming towards you. And this is going, your thumb and your finger is going to bypass each other. Okay? And you've got to really get in there and dig it. You just want to get a good, solid 3-chord or 3-note sound, 3-note chord. String and the 8th string. This is the root, 3rd, 5th, root, 3rd. You got the 3rd on the bottom. You got your 9th here and your 7th here. We won't worry about those right now. We'll get into more complicated things later on. Right now, we just want the major chord, and it's right here. Your first string on E is slightly out of tune, but it's E. That's your 4th string on your steel guitar. 2nd string, of course, is the 5th string on the steel guitar. And your G sharp on your guitar, the 3rd string there, is going to be your 6th string on the steel guitar. The E note right here on the part of the E chord is going to be your 8th string. Then you've got your B here. And this one, this low E, is not on there. We have to sacrifice that for other notes up here that we're going to use later. So here you have the tuning, and this is how you can play it. Now the A and B pedals are the ones we use the most, because that changes from like your 1 chord. Let's say your E tuning is your 1 chord, and the A and B pedal together are going to be the 4 chord. That's like going from E to A. Very simple. Only the inversions change. So we've got E, A, and it's using the same sets of strings that we did in the E chord. Only thing is that the roots change, the inversions change. So on the 3rd string is the root when you got your A and B pedals down, and the 6th string is the root when you've got your pedals down. But you can still play in sets of 3s. So this is E. I'm not used to playing with thumb finger and 1st fingers. Like that. Here's your A. So you got Now if I do it like the way I'm used to, I won't miss so many strings, you know. And you're welcome to try this method too. My theory is it doesn't matter how you do it, just get the job done. So we're going to play steel guitar.